Do you or someone you love have diabetes? I'm Chef LaLa, and I'm here to guide you make healthy lifestyle choices and provide you with tools that will help you and your loved ones achieve your diabetes and nutritional goals. The Flavor of Life is not just about cooking. I'm going to give you healthy recipes, exercise tips, and real solutions for a better quality of life. It's about a healthy lifestyle and an outlook on life that empowers everyone to live the best life possible. Here on The Flavor of Life, along with my guests and experts, you will be guided in making situations that help fit your health goals and needs. My guest in the kitchen will help us prepare crispy tenderloin, keeping it healthy without losing his family tradition. I'll also be making one of my favorite salads, shrimp and cucumber with a creamy avocado dressing. Ooh, and delicious dulce de leche oatmeal cookies. Then we'll be speaking to Dr. Enrique Caballero from American Diabetes Center, and he will help you understand important aspects of your diabetes care. We'll also have author and trainer Nico Rietner weigh in on some simple ways to be your best physically, even while overcoming obstacles. The foods you like to eat and the schedule you keep are the foundation of your diabetes care plan. Together, let's prevent, delay, or treat complications. Salads can be healthy and full of lots of wonderful flavors. Think beyond lettuce. Lots of fresh ingredients topped with dressings that aren't loaded with fat. I like to use these little cucumbers and I leave the peeling on because that's where all the fiber is. For my protein, I like to use shrimp. They're the most popular seafood in the United States. I get mine peeled and deveined and clean already. I'm a busy mom, so I try to save myself as much time as I can. I'm gonna cut them into tiny little pieces. And a lot of people have the misconception that if you eat cholesterol, it's gonna adversely affect your cholesterol levels, and it doesn't. So I'm ready to make my creamy avocado dressing. I'm gonna start off with avocados because they provide nearly 20 essential nutrients, including fiber and potassium, vitamin E, B, and folic acid. They also act as a nutrient booster because they help the body absorb more fat-soluble nutrients. And they're really yummy too. I'm gonna add some fresh herbs. Cilantro is rich in antioxidants and dietary fiber, which help reduce LDL, that's the lousy stuff, the bad cholesterol, while increasing the HDL, which is the good cholesterol levels. I'm gonna add some parsley also. These herbs are a good source of minerals like potassium and calcium, manganese, iron, and magnesium. I'm gonna add a little bit of lime. I love that tartness in my dressing. Some yogurt. That's what's gonna give it that creamy consistency, and it's also another source of protein. Some healthy fat, which is a non-saturated fat, extra virgin olive oil. I know it's not saturated because it's not solid at room temperature. And just a little salt. If you're trying to watch your salt intake, I recommend that you blend it, then add it afterwards, but since I've done this a couple times, I'm gonna eyeball it. Ooh, this looks good and it smells awesome. Ooh, nice and creamy. See, you don't even miss all that awful fat. Now I'm gonna take this martini glass because you know what? Every day is a celebration for me, and I do serve myself on martini glasses. I actually do this for parties as well. It's easy to carry and it's beautiful presentation. I'm gonna add my shrimp on top, a little bit of the dressing, and some cilantro. This is loaded with all the nutrients my body needs. And it just showed you that healthy can be so delicious. Yum. There's a lot of mystery and confusion about diabetes. Is heredity a big factor? Can stress in our daily lives play a part? We have one of the best experts in the country online with us to answer some of those questions. Dr. Enrique Caballero from the American Diabetes Center. Hi, Dr. Caballero, how are you?
I am doing very well, thank you.
I'm predisposed to diabetes. My grandparents have it, both my parents have it, my uncles and aunts have it. What precautions can I take in order to reduce those complications that are associated with diabetes?
It is very important to know if someone has diabetes because this is a disease that, although cannot be cured, it can be controlled, and people can reduce the risk of the complications related to diabetes. And there's many of them. People can develop eye disease, people can develop problems in their heart, in their kidneys, in their legs. Diabetes, unfortunately, can affect every single part of the body, and it is something that should not happen if people pay attention to their disease and do whatever is required to control diabetes.
People often say, oh, you lost your grandparents to diabetes, but I didn't lose them to diabetes. I lost them to the complications associated, right?
Yes, people don't die from diabetes directly, but from the complications that diabetes leads to. And the goal of controlling diabetes effectively is to reduce the risk of all these complications.
My dad has diabetes, but on occasion he likes to have a glass of scotch on the rocks, as a nightcap. But then he doesn't take his medication. Can you give him some tips?
Sure. Well, in general, people with diabetes can have some alcohol, but in moderation. And one recommendation that we always make is that they should not stop eating, that the drink should always be with a meal. And that is because some people that may be taking medications for diabetes may have a low blood sugar. And if they're not eating and then the alcohol is on top of that, people can have a significantly low blood sugar. So the recommendation is to drink in moderation, always with a meal. Now, in terms of the medications, it's important not to stop the medications, and that would be based on the fact that people are just going to drink in moderation, and that is what we want people to do.
Both of my parents have diabetes, and the interesting thing is, it seemed to be onset by a stressful moment. Can you explain that to us?
There is a relationship between stress and high blood sugars. In fact, it is not uncommon to see that sometimes people are diagnosed with diabetes shortly after a very stressful situation. I remember when I was in Mexico, where I am from, that after that earthquake that we had many years ago, people were diagnosed with diabetes shortly after. And some people thought that they had diabetes from the earthquake, but of course that was not the reason. It was just sort of the triggering factor that pushed some people to manifest the disease, but they already had some genetic predisposition for diabetes. They probably had some lifestyle issues as well, and stress was just the triggering factor to make it more evident, to make it appear and be manifested. So it's not the cause, but stress could elevate the blood sugars at some point in some people because there's a release of hormones and substances in the body that make the blood sugars go up in general. In some people with diabetes, that could obviously impact their blood sugars in general as well.
All right. I know there's some awesome advances in diabetes. Can you share that with us?
Yes, I think that we have come a long way in diabetes care. Many years ago, people with diabetes, particularly those with type 1, would live for only a few years. And now people can live a very long life. Here at the Joslin Diabetes Center, where I have the privilege of working, we have given medals to people that have had diabetes for 25, 50, even 75 years with the disease. And there are people that are in great shape. So that's a very important consideration, that it is possible to control diabetes. We're not there for the cure of diabetes yet, but we are hoping to move in that direction. But people can improve their lives. There's a lot of discoveries now in how to reduce the risk of complications like eye disease or kidney disease or heart disease by controlling the blood sugars, the blood pressure, cholesterol, losing some weight. So those are important things to prevent complications. We are particularly interested in how to help people that have a higher risk for diabetes, like the Latino or Hispanic population and other groups, because we may have the genetic tendency for diabetes and complications. So in the Latino Diabetes Initiative, for instance, we have tried to help people by providing culturally oriented care, education, and guidance in how to improve diabetes. So we have come a long way in diabetes overall, and our center is really working very, very hard in trying to improve the lives of many people with diabetes out there.
Thank you, doctor. And thank you for the great work you're doing at the Joslin Diabetes Center at the Harvard School of Medicine. Sometimes people watching their carbohydrate intake or just trying to lose weight think they have to cut all the fun stuff like cookies. But guess what? They don't. It's all about healthy ingredients and moderation. So I'm gonna start by making my favorite cookies, dulce de leche oatmeal cookies. I started off with a cup of whole wheat flour, 1 cup of oats, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Now cinnamon is an anti-inflammatory, so it's actually awesome for you. Lots of health benefits. Salt, baking powder and baking soda, canola oil. I'm gonna choose this because it has a pretty neutral flavor and it's an unsaturated fat. Dulce de leche. Now this is a Latin version of caramel, and since it's so intense in flavor, I get to use just 3 tablespoons instead of a cup and a half of sugar that you would normally use for these cookies. An egg, some vanilla. Now, using real vanilla makes all the difference in the world. So really good quality vanilla. Some milk, 3 tablespoons, and it's 2%. And half a cup of raisins, so we get some extra sweetness from there in a natural way. Oats and oat bran and oatmeal contain a specific type of fiber known as beta-glucan. Studies also show that beta-glucan has beneficial effects in diabetes as well. People with diabetes who were given foods high in this type of oat fiber, given oatmeal or oat bran rich in foods, experience much lower rises in blood sugar compared to those who were given food made with just regular bleached white flour. All right, this is ready. I'm gonna make my little cookies. I'll make little balls. Keep them small. I like to call them cookie nibbles. I've preheated my oven to 350, so I'm gonna place them in there for 8 to 10 minutes. I love the aroma of fresh baked cookies. But when it comes to healthy eating, moderation is key. So for nutritional information and this recipe, go to theflavoroflife.com. Both my mom and dad have diabetes, but they deal with it in different ways. My dad has a strict exercise regimen, while my mom is very careful about what she eats. But between work and home and grandchildren, it's hard to find time to exercise, she says. I'm concerned because she has diabetes and osteoporosis. Women with type 2 diabetes experience higher fracture rates in regions of the hip, humerus, and foot than do non-diabetic women. Bone loss has been observed to be greater in patients with poorly controlled diabetes than in those whose diabetes is in good control. I'd like to welcome author and trainer Nico Rietner to the show. Hey man, I heard you guys were booging at the gym yesterday.
Yes, we did.
So you convinced her to go, she had the time. How did that work?
Well, we started something very basic.
Okay.
So that way was easy. I showed her some kettlebell movements.
Now this is the kettlebell, so she can actually do this from home or from the gym.
Yes, exactly. So that's the only equipment she needs. So she can go to a park or wherever she likes and do a very short routine that will help her with her goals.
You say this is the only equipment she needs, but that's a 5-pounder. I mean, can anybody do this, a man, a woman?
Well, this is a good one for her to start with.
Okay.
But these kettlebells go all the way up to over 100 pounds. So it's for every level.
Okay.
Really.
But the overall goal actually is what? Is to build?
To build strong muscles.
Right, because strong muscles means strong bones. Let's check out what they did at the gym.
Hello, I'm Nico Rietner, and we're here with Raquel to find out how we can help her to achieve her fitness goals.
Nico, my doctor told me that I should be seeking some professional help to help me out. How can I strengthen my bones and my muscles? Because for osteoporosis or for any pain that I...
Okay, so I see you touching your lower back. So is that what he said? He wants you to strengthen your back specifically, or in general?
General, but my lower back is the one that started weakening.
Okay, And about osteoporosis, he recommended weightlifting so we can help those bones to
That's what he told
intensify.
me. Yeah, specifically lifting weights is the best for straining the bones and muscles.
So I have these few exercises that I like to show you. They're very simple techniques, and we can learn them right now, and you can start practicing right away.
Thank you very much. Let's go.
Let's go. So let's start working with, these are kettlebells. So we're going to be using this as our training tool. I recommend to start very, very light. Just getting familiar with the technique, and then we can move up, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to start first with the squatting technique. So you're going to grab the kettlebell in front of you. Now check out something like bigger for me. You're going to bring your scapulas together, shoulders down, and then you're going to reach back with your hips. And just go as low as you can without having to tip over. Then come back up, and let's do that again, okay? And the goal is not to tip over, to keep your torso as upright as possible, and to reach back with your hips, okay?
Okay.
So let's do this again. And keep reaching back, that's it, and come back up. And try to keep the weight against your torso. So do this again, don't let it go forward. Reach back with your hips, and come back up. And that's a good height for you with that weight. You feel comfortable with this movement?
Yes.
So this will be one exercise, okay, so that's the deadlift. The next exercise we're going to use to work your upper back, okay? But still we work the rest of your body. So in the same position we are right now, we're going to pivot to the left, and we're going to bend at the knees. And I'm going to sit back as I go down. I'm going to place my forearm on my thigh, keep my back flat and straight, and you're going to roll it all the way up to your ribs, okay? The things we're looking for here are that your back is flat, okay? Your hips are slightly high, but you're braced on this leg, so that way your lower back is not working hard. And then the kettlebell will roll the kettlebell all the way up to your ribs and down, okay? And then try to maintain that posture, okay? There you go. So make your back flat, there you go, that's it. And you don't need to go all the way down, just until your arm is straight. That's it. Now, take a break. If you like to make this one a little easier, instead of using your leg for support, you could use the bench. And I'm gonna move this out the way. You can use the bench. Put your leg on the bench. Place your arm on the bench, so now my back is flat. I'm all supported. Pick up the kettlebell. Now when I have it in position, I wanna keep it in that position. I'm gonna roll from there. I come back to the starting position every time. Okay, and this is the bent row using the bench. Would you like to try it? Keep your back flat. So a little further back, there you go. And then you don't need to go all the way down. So you want to keep this flat. So just go as far as your arm allows you. That's it, and then go back up. And then bring it to your ribs. Bring it closer to your body, like that. Like that. And don't reach down, just maintain this posture. Go down like that, and that's it. And go back up, perfect. So we want to keep a good posture there, just limit the movement, keep it control, and strengthen those muscles. Sounds good? Okay. The next movement we're going to learn, this is a pull, and we're going to learn a press, and this will strengthen your glutes, your lower back, and your hamstrings. Okay? Also, because we're going to be doing a chest press, you're going to get some upper body strength. So, would you mind laying down on the ground here for me? Okay. So we're going to lift your hips. Okay. And you're going to hold that position through the exercise. Now we're going to place the elbow down and the elbow on your hand like this. You're going to press it up. Good job, exactly. Up and down, gently up and down. Good job. You're going to maintain this position of the hips up.
Okay.
Good job. You want to try the other arm? Okay. So you're going to do like this. And then you want to keep this straight. There you go. Press it up. You keep the hips up. Then down. Good job. Exactly. And then you want to always straight up. Okay. And down. Good job. So let me have this. Rest your hips. Okay. Well done. Lower rest. Okay. And let me help you up. Nice. Well done. Well done. So great job, Raquel. So that will be your routine. So you want to work first through the deadlift, then the bent row, then the shoulder bridge chest press, and that will be a simple, very simple, they're safe movements, and you can grow from there. Okay, that would be a good starting point.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure,
Really
Raquel.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
I'm glad Nico's getting my mom to do some lifting. It's never too late to start exercising. After menopause, the pace of bone loss really picks up. Starting an exercise program can increase your muscle strength, improve your balance, and help you avoid falls. And it may keep your bones from getting weaker. And you don't have to go out and buy all those fancy kettlebells or equipment if you can't afford it. You could just use some water bottles or be creative, some cans around the house. Just keep the weight distributed evenly.
What are you doing now? You're exercising or cooking?
Oh no, here comes trouble. Look at this. This guy right next to me, Dad, I'm working out and I'm eating right. This is my dad, and he's my mentor. He's the one that taught me all the magic that went on in the kitchen. You know what though, Dad? You taught me some really, really good dishes that are just really simple to make. And one of the things that you're famous for is your crispy, deep-fried pork carnitas, but they're cooked in lard.
Right.
Is that what we're going to be making today? You brought some pork for me here.
Right.
And what's the secret ingredient?
The secret ingredient is the orange.
All right, let's get going on this one. Here you go, Dad. And so one of the things that I found out in cooking school was that the orange will actually tenderize, the citrus in the orange or lemon or lime will tenderize meat. So that's a really good way to marinate. Also, the natural sugars in the orange caramelize it because what you do is that you actually deep fry your carnitas, right?
Right.
Okay, you're gonna take a little pepper, add a little bit of
And
salt.
Salt and
A little bit of garlic salt. Okay, so check this out. I'm gonna replace your lard for a little bit of chipotle oil, which is a smoky oil.
Oh
It's
my God,
non-saturated
that's
fat. Every time you remove something, you have to think of a healthy cooking technique or another ingredient that's healthier to replace it. You can't just remove stuff and expect things to taste the same. So we want to get this really, really nice and hot because we want to brown it and sear all those wonderful juices in. Go ahead, toss it in. Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for. Now, what you want to do is you want to get it nice and crisp on the outside, but there's a technique that you use when you deep fry it, which is?
well, we started the fire high and then we turn it to the middle.
Okay.
Middle fire.
Okay, so let's try something different here. What I'm gonna do is I am gonna sear it on high to get that nice little crispiness that you get from cooking it high, but when I turn it down low, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place it in the oven so that the pork can cook all the way through.
What a beautiful color.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome, isn't it? It's all caramelized. But we want to get rid of that extra oil that might be on the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to place it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. Look at this, Dad. What do you think?
Looks good.
It's looking good, but you know what? The true test is going to be taste. And we have to see how it tastes. Let's cut a little piece off. Now, usually you let your meat rest for 5 to 10 minutes and let all the juices distribute, but I don't think you can wait. Look at this. Nice and crisp on the outside and juicy on the inside. So what do you think?
Tastes great.
Really?
Better
Awesome.
than mine.
Awesome. So what we did was we took some healthy cooking techniques. We seared our meat. We didn't fry it. We used a nonstick pan to use a little bit of oil. We used an unsaturated fat instead of a saturated fat. And we finished it off in the oven instead of continuing to deep fry it. We also used natural tenderizers like orange and kept it easy on the seasoning. Didn't cover up all kinds of sauce. Keep it simple.
Let me have some more. These taste good.
Wait, Dad. Mom's waiting for us in the dining room. What do you say we get this all together and have a good old-fashioned family dinner, healthy style?
Hey, sounds great.
Okay, so here you go. Why don't you take this to the dining room and I'll get together some side dishes.
All right.
If you or someone you know or love has diabetes, it's not about what you can't have, but what you can have. And living your life with flavor. For more information and recipes, go to theflavoroflife.com. Salud, guys.
Salud.
Salud.